Hi everybody, Bizzo checking in from the shores of Lake Erie, our little cottage out here. Today's video, what I'd like to cover is how to go about cleaning a quadrifire wood burning insert stove. And we're gonna have a good example today. The wood that I was burning earlier this week was extremely damp, seasoned, but was unfortunately not protected by my canopy that I'll show you here in a second. So as I mentioned, I ended up taking the wood, not from underneath the canopy on my rack, but just to the left of it. That's what I wanted to get through first. Anyways, there were some heavier rains this week that produced a lot of moisture that soaked into kind of the top pieces that was on the rack. And obviously I was gonna burn those first. So with that said, let's check out the result of what happened with that burn. And just for the viewer's note, this was started about Friday midday. It's now Sunday morning. So burnt it, really for about 36 to 48 hours consistent. Anyways, let's look at the results. So as you can see here, this is a very thick tar, more than normal. Again, my seasoned wood doesn't normally produce this, but for today's purposes, this is probably a good thing. So with that said, I watched some other videos that indicated, just use some damp paper towels, dip it in the ash, and then it eventually becomes somewhat of an abrasive, and then it does come off. But I found it was really a lot of work. And you know what? Work smarter, not harder. So with that said, in today's segment, what we're gonna do is we're gonna utilize your standard oven cleaner. This works really like a champ. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna spray that on, and then we're gonna let it sit for 12 to 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and let me flip the script here on the camera. Hang tight. All right, so hopefully everybody can see this. You'll see I put a paper bag down just because this stuff, I'll tell you what, it works like a champ on the glass, but the last thing you want to do is get it on the floor. Obviously, if you wipe it up quick, it's not a big deal, but it will, if you do get some residual spray on the finish. Let me see if I can get that closer. You will see it will eat it away. Not the end of the world. Frankly, I think it gives it a little bit of a rustic look, and it's going to take a beating over time, but nonetheless, let's go over the next step in the process. So again, shake up your oven cleaner. You're going to want to spray it on as such. Obviously, it's going to be heavier in some areas. You really don't need a lot. That spray should do good. My oven's nice and cool. Oh, by the way, the glass should always be cool. Definitely don't want to apply this when it's hot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let the solvent work. And you can see here, get a little just residual on the bag. That's why I put it down. Again, if it gets on the floor, no big deal. Just wipe it up. Well, with some Windex or something like that. But again, taking a look here, it's sprayed on. It's already working. And again, I usually shut it. Again, it's not hot. That's the key. And then I let it do its thing. Again, 12 or 15 minutes. And then you should be good to wipe it off with a paper towel. So we'll come back to that. I do need to give a shout out to my good close friend Mike Huss, who owns Overhead Door here in Toledo. Purchased the unit from him about 3 years ago, and his installer Dave is just amazing. He actually cut out of this stone here to make it such a nice custom fit. So I had a really good experience with them. Anyways, we're going to come back in about, like I said, 12 to 15 minutes, and then we should wipe it down, and more to come. So hang tight. All right, now we're back. Again, it's the solvent oven cleaner, which can be purchased at, frankly, any big box store for relatively inexpensive. I think I got that for $5. We're now prepared to go ahead and hopefully this wipes off. Now again, this has been a couple day thick tar. Let's take a look at what it looks like. So you can already see it's kind of working here. It's already melting some of it off. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some of this taken off. This is, again, as I mentioned, a very thick, unfortunately, tar due to that wood being pretty damp. You can see now it takes off a good portion of it. You'll want to keep that down there. You can see it's dripping some of that. So this is most likely going to require a second coat. Again, did everything right. It's just a very thick layer of the tarred smoke. So with that said, let's go ahead and spray again. And then we're going to let it sit again. And then, you know, again, maybe at the end we will have to dip in there. It need a little bit more abrasive, but for right now we're going to apply a second coat. Second coat application. Now again, we're just going to target really where it's needed most. And again, same process. We're going to let sit 12 to 15 minutes, and then we'll be back. Let's see how our round 2 of the oven cleaner application works this time. Obviously, as I've mentioned all along, this was a rather thick tar, and you can see it's really coming off just like it should. Again, we're probably going to have to resort on the really caked on stuff to the method I talked about earlier, where we dip damp paper cloth into the ash that's remaining in there in the fireplace. And again, this is messy, so you're going to want to keep some sort of coverage down there. Something you can most likely dispose of. All right, so big difference from when we started. Now I'm going to take this damp paper cloth, or paper towel, sorry. I'm going to just dip it into the ashes for our really caked on areas. And then almost just use like a circle effect. Let me get some. There we go. And again, what I like about the oven cleaner is, I mean, can you imagine doing this for the whole window? Which is, again, for, I don't know, for the first year or so, that's what I did. So again, not the cleanest process here, but it works. You can see it's coming off. And it'll require a little more elbow grease down there. As I mentioned earlier, I use mostly the seasoned wood. It's all driftwood that rolls up on our adjacent beach. So Mother Nature provides us a nice source there. Usually after the spring thaws. I got one more problem area, and then we're gonna get to the last part of the segment, which is how to officially polish the glass. So here we go. This is a tough, this is gonna not be fun here, this corner. And again, it's a messy process, but I really like coming in the next time and having clean glass. So I'm gonna go get another paper towel for this little last bit. Still working on this little corner here. I will tell you that I often find that warm water works the best for these little problem areas. And again, you could apply the oven cleaner again and just let it sit, but I'm in a little bit of a hurry. And you'll find out as you utilize your stove there are just certain problem areas that will build up, and it's usually just due to type of wood. Wind direction actually I think plays into it here too. But can you imagine doing this for that entire glass? It was pretty brutal when I first got it. All right. And again, I think at the end of the day, could have certainly sprayed it again and waited. But there we go. All right, last step in the process. Make sure you're getting ammonia-free cleaner. Really important. Again, you can get this in any box store. The key is ammonia-free. Spray it on. Wipe it off. This is the easy part of the process. And I think most importantly, you know, that clean glass, you want to be able to see your fire. And after I went ahead and scooped all my ashes into there, this is what the final result looks like. It's nice and clean. Next time we come out to the cottage, ready to rock and roll. Get some of my little kindling in there. Get some of my nice dry wood. And then obviously out to the inventory. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll leave you with a little shot of the wonderful Lake Erie. Chat soon, everybody.